Brian James, the leader of the British punk band The Damned, decided to disband the group in February of 1978. When his old bandmates decided to reform a few months later, not only did he refuse to join them, but he declined to let them use the name for a while. James wanted to form his own band and take them to a place where he envisioned The Damned would evolve into beyond the limitations of punk rock. According to him, I was trying to move away from the punk thing by that time in 1978 because everybody and their effing sons were joining punk bands and being punky and basically copying the first bands that had come along. It seemed to me that they were all sitting in their own kind of uniform, whereas the whole point of punk was meant to be about expressing yourself and doing your own thing and being different. I wanted to do something to rebel against that. Not too long after the breakup, James went out and formed the post-punk band Tanz Der Youth. He said he wanted to create a sound that was completely different from The Damned. Brian James took the name for his band from a German poster of the Roman Polanski film The Fearless Vampire Killers. He said, "It came from an old movie poster that I found in Berlin. It was a poster for a Roman Polanski film called Dance of the Vampires, which is known as The Fearless Vampire Killers. In German, Dance of the Vampires translates as Tanz der Vampires. So I thought that Tanz Der Youth would be kind of neat. It would make a good name for a band. Dance of the Youth and all." James described the band's sound as transmagical. He said, "I used the word transmagical because I wanted to put it in my own box before some bright sparks started calling it psychedelic or something else," which of course they did. I wanted to get the word in there before the press stuck it in any boxes. Besides James, who was playing guitar and lead vocals, the other members were bassist Andy Colquhoun, drummer Alan Powell, and keyboardist Tony Moore. They were invited by Black Sabbath's management to join them on their Never Say Die tour, 1978. Tanz Der Youth managed to play several UK shows before they were replaced by Van Halen. According to Brian James, it wasn't that hard. It was like chalk and cheese, really. The Sabbath guys were great to us, really. Full marks to them. But I think we lasted about 5 or 6 dates before their management got rid of us. We gave Van Halen their first big break in the UK as they replaced us. Later that year, they appeared on the John Peel Show on August 9, 1978, and played 4 songs, including one from their future single, I'm Sorry, I'm Sorry. They released their first and only single, I'm Sorry, I'm Sorry, on September 1st, 1978 by their label, Radar Records. Unfortunately, this would be the only studio recording made by the band. Despite releasing a single, gaining exposure from the Black Sabbath tour, and appearing on the John Peel Show, the band members didn't vibe with each other. According to James, "We got as far as doing a single, I'm sorry, and then things went to jelly. It had all been a bit put together, rather than coming together in its own way. In The Damned, we hit it off each other, and we were something of a gang, but with Tanz Der Youth, we just didn't seem to spark. As much as I thought I wanted to do something against punk, I quickly found out I was itching to play some rock and roll again. Tanz Der Youth had a synthesizer player for a start, and soon I was tired of that. The drummer, Alan Powell, had been in Hawkwind. There were some very good ideas coming out, but different personalities in the group didn't fit together to make the most of those ideas. It just didn't happen. We gave it a shot, it was an experiment, but it didn't work. Tanz Der Youth would break up, and Brian James would join Iggy Pop's North American tour for a couple of months as a guitarist. He would later come back to England and form a new band, Brian James and the Brains, with future Damned member Alan Lee Shaw. They would release one 3-track single, Ain't That a Shame, for Illegal Records in 1978 before breaking up. Miles Copeland, who owned the label, had his brother Stewart Copeland, the drummer for the Police, play on all 3 tracks. The two were friends, and both of their bands, The Damned and The Police, often played together on the same show. Brian James and the Brains would break up soon after releasing their single, and it would be a few years before he would find success, when in 1981 he co-founded the Lords of the New Church with Stiv Bators and Dave Tregunna. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Cuppy's Music Curios. My name is Cuppy, and I hope to see you soon. Cheerio!